Hello, my single solitary viewer, and welcome back to F1 2021. But this time it's my team, special career modes that, basically lets us run our own F1 team. And you can see I created Flouze Crew Racing. Of course, Flouze is not your hero and driver. That is, in fact, Sid Garcia.
As you can see, there's no pit lane behind me, and as you can hear, no roar of engines, and that's because they've set me free from the F1 paddock to escape here to the countryside and to the headquarters of Formula One's newest team. Now, it's not every day we get to pull back the curtain and look behind the scenes at an F1 team. Rarer still, we get to talk not only to the team owner, but also the team's lead driver. But what makes this place extra special is that the owner and lead driver are one and the same person. Now, it's been an interesting 12 months, and we all know a number of the regulation changes which were due to come into effect this year have been delayed until next. Some, though, are still seeing the light of day, amongst them the all-important budget cap, which gives some of the smaller teams a little further down the order, potentially, the opportunity to compete with the bigger teams. Good for them, but great for us as viewers. But what does our new team owner think about these new rules? Do they see them as a challenge, a hurdle that needs to be overcome? Perhaps they see them as an opportunity to disrupt the status quo, a chance to come out swinging and to carve their name into Formula One history. Well, I had the opportunity to ask them these very questions just earlier today, and here's what they had to say. Well, first of all, thanks so much for inviting us here today. It's been wonderful to see behind the scenes. As you might expect, I've got about 1 million questions, so let's jump straight in. It's been a long time since we last saw a team owner take their own car onto the track, and the sport's changed enormously in the intervening years. How are you going to handle the responsibilities of both managing and driving for a Formula One team?
It's not just about me. It's about the team, and I'm behind them 100%. And I feel like together, there's nothing that can stop us.
Let's talk about your teammate. Now, it's clear they're excited to have signed with you, but tell me, what is it that you think they bring to the team?
We've just seen what he can do on paper, and personally, I see a lot of potential in this guy.
So you've obviously been putting a lot of work into the car. I know it's early days, but how do you expect it to feel out there?
So making sure the car was as responsive as possible, that was one of our main goals this season. And I feel like that's going to give us the edge going through corners.
Most of the other teams can boast years of experience in Formula One. Where do you see the opportunities to make those vital performance gains you need to put you within reach of the other cars?
See, just a fresh pair of eyes can find solutions that no other team has seen. And we found some unique ways of reducing drag.
Ultimately, your success this season is going to come down to whether you can take positions from the other drivers. What is it about your car that's going to give you that edge in those battles?
We've made sure to develop an incredibly light car. And I feel like that's going to help us with both the top speed and through the corners.
And finally, with so many specialist departments working together here at your headquarters, and with such an important deadline coming up, who's getting that coveted Teacher's Gold Star? Which group do you feel the most proud of right now?
Aerodynamics are perhaps the biggest part of Formula One, I'd say. And what our team has accomplished in such a short time, nothing short of a miracle in my eyes.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been wonderful to get an insight from you and, of course, to see around the headquarters. Thank you for today. Really appreciate it. And thank you all at home for watching as well. We'll see you very soon.
Oh, hey, don't let the door hit you on your way out, Will.
So, the team activities. Yes, we pick stuff to do. Between, and that's yeah. So once you're we're more than just a driver. We have things to get done. So we have a period of 6 days here to fill. before the car reveal, and the car reveal interrupts our thing. That's why we can't pick the things that last 7 days. Unfortunately, no one is smart enough to include something that lasts 6 days. So let's see what we can do. We could do a driver training camp. This would help our co-pilot, but it won't help the first pilot. So it would help the second driver, and I don't think that's going to help him enough to actually let him get points. And we get cash here. Pre-season merchandise sale. I think I'll grab cash. Thank you. Yes. Oh, cash. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Okay. What else? We got 5 more days or more. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can do one. Actually, I'm not going to pick one of the 5-day things because obviously we've got enough stuff to do a 7-day thing. So we could do our powertrain focus. Or an aero and chassis focus. And, by God. By God. I'll take powertrain focus. God damn. Okay.
You can also invest some of our cash into upgrades for these facilities.
Yes, I think it might be wise to invest some of our cash into upgrades here. Increasing... Yeah, increasing up to here, I think is, right? Plus, right? No? Change facility? I can't do that? I can't improve it? Man, this is really expensive. I see now. There's something we can't afford? We cannot afford anything. Okay. And of course our vehicle parts are all great. Do we have any R&D points to distribute? We do. So let's start with our powertrain like immediately. The morale is normal everywhere. So the interview didn't do magic. So I can take durability and powertrain, and I'll have enough points for both. And let's do that. I think that'd be wise. Of course, we only have a regular amount of points here, so the development, you know, we'll see. But let's get back to the overview and talk about this. I want to do the episodes to be less than half an hour, between 20 minutes and less than half an hour, so I'm not going to show the practice sessions. I probably am going to show the qualifying and race highlights, and then team decisions in between, because this is mostly about the team management and not like the racing highlights, because yours truly sucks as a driver. That's the truth of it. But you can adjust the difficulty of the game to your skill level and have something balanced, whether you're a complete noob or you're an E-Pro. You go to the car reveal. Ooh. Here you see I should have included the F1 music, and I didn't. But it's, the green is very bright. I don't know if that's gonna be how bright it is in every lighting. Maybe I am gonna have to tone down the saturation a tad bit. I wanted it to be like basically a neon green, which I guess is borderline what we have. It's almost lighting up the screen. Now we suddenly have just a little bit more money, so we could actually spend that money into upgrading one of these facilities. So what I wonder is, no, this one we don't have the funds. Yeah, we do. So positive effects on team activities. Nah, that doesn't sound worth it. So let's see if we could work on the powertrain a lot. No, that's very expensive. That's even more expensive. Chassis maybe? Also very expensive. I thought I was able to... Oh, this we can upgrade. Okay. Increase the speed of the upgrades. Oh. And decrease the failure chance of upgrades. It's only 10%, but speed build time is 20% faster. So right now I'm not building a chassis part. Am I not? I'm building powertrain and durability. So if I did this one, upgrade the build time for powertrain, if I upgrade this, we might be, maybe that's gonna be helping us, our team. But yes, we get to manage a whole lot of things in this game. A lot of thing. We get our powertrain upgrade. We get weekly resources. And because we got a few resources extra, we can immediately spend some into more building stuff. Unfortunately, chassis and aero are they're a little bit in the doldrums. We already have a piece here, I forgot, so like that one's very expensive. But this one is rather cheap. The morale low increases the failure chance a little bit, but hopefully we'll do good in Bahrain and raise the troop morale. Yeah, let's look at the driver market for a second, because now you can see that among the choices of drivers I had at the time, Dan Ticktum seemed like the best hire, but now that the game, now that the season has started...
From here, you can see pertinent details on every driver in the sport, compare them with each other, and add them to your watch list. When the contract negotiation window rolls around, this is where you will approach any drivers you wish to hire.
So in short, we could try and see if we can avoid, for example, seeing Kimi Räikkönen bow out of the sport. Maybe we could make an offer to Kimi Räikkönen, for example. But otherwise, we've got a lot of free agents here. And a lot of these are... Yeah, I could see some new drivers here. But we could, like, for example, try and poach Kimi Räikkönen away. Of course, we don't have the money right now. I spent it all. So, maybe that's not going to happen. Maybe I'm not going to actually have the money, and I'll only be able to afford someone, you know, a very, very new rookie. But you've had a glance at who the available drivers would be for the next part. Let's take a look at the sponsorships so understand what's going on. We have a goal bonus, and the goal that we must meet is to earn 15 Constructors Championship points in the season. This is possible because the power unit is a Honda. It's actually the third least expensive power unit. It's the third least expensive engine, but it's also the same one that Red Bull uses. So it's both for me and the team. It's like the let's say the Scrooge McDuck way to spend on the team, because I could have taken the most expensive one, which strangely is Ferrari, because of the high durability of the engine, or the most powerful one, Mercedes, but it's less durable. And the Honda engine is a mix of both, or cheaper. It sounded like the good call to make. Maybe I was wrong, but with the Honda engine, I don't think the team will immediately be in the back end. It's going to be a middle of the pack team. But now I go to the race weekend. So after the results of the practice sessions, I had to increase the difficulty level. Because young Sid Garcia had the best result in practice. That doesn't mean he'll get the best result in the qualifications. I expect the drivers to actually do better, so I only slightly raised the difficulty level. We'll see. I expect this car is supposed to be in the area of 12 to 14th on the grid, and when they get lucky, score points. But it should be a lower middle pack car, and if that's not what we get, then it's going to be possibly an issue. Let's go out for our second and final qualifying lap. I do like where we are. Maybe ahead of McLaren is just a little bit too easy. We might have to get that up a bit, maybe. but it depends, because I do believe that I have more difficult race settings as well compared to the co-op season with Sten. There's a few things that are a little bit more difficult in addition to the AI difficulty level. So I think I probably won't...
2 laps of fuel left.
I won't touch the difficulty level quite yet until I see what it looks like in a race. But we're at least, we're not going to win the Grand Prix with a brand new team that should be middle bottom of the pack. So at least there's that, At least there's that. We're going to finish reasonably close to where the team should finish. It was suboptimal. I got a fast sector 2, but I don't think I did good in this part. Yeah, I did not improve. Oh, yeah, no, I did improve my time. Oh, shit, I'm now 4th. Oh, shit. So 5th. This is rather too high. This is rather high. And if we look at where our teammate is, he's closer to where the team should be, which is possibly just in front of Alfa Romeo, except Dan Ticktum is really the worst driver on the grid, given his stats. So I'm gonna have to, tread carefully, but I think for the race I'm gonna boop up the difficulty level a notch, and we'll see how that goes.
No more testing, no more practice. This is the real deal, and it's make or break here at round 1 of this year's Formula One World Championship. We go racing today around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit, with 15 corners and 2 good passing opportunities into turns 1 and 4. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left tyre into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. A new season then, a clean slate where anything could happen. Anthony Davidson is with me today as we get another year of Formula One underway.
We're into those tense few minutes before the first race then. Everyone's a little bit nervous about reliability. They haven't been running in the hot, turbulent wake of other cars in practice. They've not been pushing at 100% for long durations. Let's hope no one has to deal with any nasty surprises.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Hamilton, Garcia and Sainz, Ricciardo, Norris, Leclerc and Pierre Gasly, Tsunoda, Fernando Alonso, Sebastian Vettel and Ocon, Stroll, Raikkonen, Antonio Giovinazzi and George Russell, Ticktum, Latifi, Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Who knows?
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
I will let you down, Jeff. I think I would prefer pitting a little bit later, because I'm stupid. There you go. Okay, well, the moment of truth is here. We're going to be starting the race. And maybe that start isn't so bad? But I need to avoid crashing. Oh my god. Stop destroying my car, fools. This probably shouldn't be right. I feel like Max got screwed over here by a few people. Will I be able to defend against him? Now, it was important to not take massive damage because I do have more damage in this than I did in the co-op season with Sten. It's not full damage, it's not simulation damage, otherwise we'd already be out. Because we did nudge the butt of another car, and that would probably just be enough to lose the front of the nose of the car. Just that tiny nudge in full sim. But we do have reduced to damage, but you don't want to play with fire. You don't want like a full collision or anything. If I can stay third, obviously it means that I have to change the difficulty setting further. I increased it since quali, and from quali I increased it from the practice. The important part is that the car like doesn't... we have to find the correct balance of difficulty, but also enough where it's still plausible for the team to get the 15 points they could get in the season, right?
DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not 1 second behind Bottas, but Max is certainly less than 1 second behind me. So Max is going to be DRSing the whole way through. I don't think it'd be wise of me to block him. Yeah, he's already there. Yeah, I don't think it's wise of me to needlessly block him. We're not competing against Red Bull in this first season. We're competing against middle-of-the-pack teams. So I'm not. It's not like a big deal if Red Bull scores more point than Flouze Racing. You know, Flouze Crew Racing has its own agenda, and that's to be as close to the McLaren Aston Martin type group and maybe beat them fairly, but beat them at their own game. But Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, they're not the teams I'm looking to beat. It would be unreasonable to beat them with this car. Is Max gonna do the move on this straight?
The car ahead is 2.3 seconds.
I think so.
To teammate behind is 10.2
there you go.
seconds.
Here you go, Max. I'll let him through. However, Hamilton, just because it's Hamilton, I'm gonna have him fight a little more. Because I intend to DRS off Max Verstappen at the very least. I couldn't do that against Bottas, but I can do that with Max. So I'm going to DRS as far as I can. Max going for the pit at lap 6, the usual strategy.
Let's box this lap.
I'm pitting on lap 7, hoping that the overcut helps me out. We'll see. Usually undercutting is the strategy of choice, but I'm thinking the soft tires are much faster. So, and I still have good traction, so I think I can put in a better time on this last lap here.
2 seconds.
And just having an extra lap on softs might give me an advantage. We'll have to see. I'm not the only one who didn't pit. Bottas didn't pit either. And neither did Perez, because in principle they're both number 2 drivers. So the number 1 drivers, Hamilton and Max, but I'll be pitting at the same time as Perez and Bottas. I did not have a strong Sector 2. Without the DRS, I'm not quite as fast. But here we go for the pits. We're going into the pits of despair. What is this gonna look like? How slow we gonna be? How slow we gonna be? So we're first. For the moment, but until, of course, there you go, there they go.
Exit now.
Bottas and Perez up in front. And Bottas actually pitted so much faster than Perez that he's now first.
Complete. See these tires through to the end now.
But I have someone trying to butt in here. Giovinazzi, this is not your place, my dude. This is not your place. This is not your place. This is not your place. You don't belong here. There you go. Now you probably feel more at home. No, I could not afford to be behind Gio. I could not afford to be behind that guy for very long. Otherwise, I would have lost a whole lot of time. Ocon is going to pit, but he's not going to slow me down here. In fact, maybe I'm not even going to get DRS because he's too far ahead. But Verstappen is behind me again, so my overcut actually paid off in terms of positioning. Verstappen has lost a position to Sid Garcia again, so technically I am provisionally third. And Ocon still not pitting? Oh, he is, okay. So thanks to the clever pit strategy, Sid Garcia is now third again. And I'm gonna admit it, Verstappen is possibly too far behind to catch up. Because he can't DRS off anybody at the moment to try and catch up. And neither can I. I cannot DRS off anybody either. But if Hamilton catches up to Verstappen and they're really, really close, they might start like fighting for position and basically getting it in each other's way in terms of catching up to me, because Max will be too busy trying to defend. And when you're defending, you can't really like catch up as much. Like you kind of waste time, because often to defend you have to block and you can't take the optimal racing line. Well, it's going to be real good to see a different few faces on the top of the leaderboard early gates compared to what we would normally get. Of course, it's still Ferrari and Red Bull, but it's not the usual Ferrari and the usual Red Bull that is on top.
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
But of course, even though it's a little bit thanks to a tricky little strategy for pitting that puts Sid on the third step of the podium. First career podium. Good job there, Sid. Not a whole lot of drivers can say they've achieved that feat, but of course it does mean that the difficulty level still needs a little bit of tweaking. We're gonna have to raise that a notch. A spicy little notch. And where the AI is going to be very, very different level than our season with Sten. But I have to remember that this car is already better than Alfa Romeo that we used in our season, because it has a Honda engine. And that's the same as Red Bull. Red Bull has improved theirs compared to ours with their R&D points. So we're starting with a completely unimproved motor, and theirs has improvements, which is why we got a real hard time catching up, or we can't actually catch up to Perez. But here it is. A podium for Sid Garcia on his first ever race.
That was a fantastic drive.
With the colors of the Norwegian flag on his helmet. That completely clash with the colors of the team.
That's it for another Grand Prix and a fantastic win for Mercedes. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
You know, we need to get our sponsor stickers applied. We only have one sponsor, mind you, but it's not. I don't think we can add them to the suit, but we should be adding it to the car. I'm gonna have to go do that.
Valtteri Bottas passes his rival to take over the lead of the Drivers' Championship. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
That's got to be the Flying Finn. Wait, how many Flying Fins have we had now? Anyway, I'm talking about Bottas this time. Just great raw speed, and a good job in traffic as well.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes moved to the top of the table. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. Everything went your way today. It looked like you had a really good strategy for the race. You really looked in control of your car out there. Your team must be thrilled. Appreciate your time.
Oh, a personnel department event? With an issue? What?
The personnel department has asked us to deal with this. We have a couple of options here. Take your time. What you decide to do will have consequences.
Dictum has been really hitting their stride in the simulator recently while they're in the zone. Where should we get them to focus their developments? I think they should improve their overall pace. That would be the best, actually.
Thanks for handling that.
Because that's where they're farthest back compared to the other drivers, really. And I think they're there by default. The Xenon Dynamics should probably maybe change the color for them and put it in a color that would be more visible for them. So I'm gonna put it at the luminance is 100, and I think this was how I had chosen it. Maybe I should put more saturation and less luminance. because the car is a little too bright. But that's going to be it for this episode of F1 2021, My Team, as we're figuring out the best exact hue of green to use so that it doesn't like completely blind you when you look at it. Yeah, no, that's not enough. 115, let's say. 115. Oh, or maybe actually 115 is too bright. We should be going for 75. 75 is it. Okay, thank you for watching. And of course, I'll raise the difficulty level for the next race. Bye-bye.
Sponsored by the Flouze Crew on Patreon.